We're going to get the scores there for you, but definitely those were the finals. And I am joined by Scott Manners here just to talk about the Draw 13. And of course, Draw 12, Saskatchewan in the morning draw. Very impressive outing for Virtue. Didn't look afraid, of course, facing an intimidating Brad Jacobs.
Yeah, Saskatchewan, they really want to stay at that 4 loss, and I hope they can. They're going to need some help along the way. They're going to need other teams to lose and come back into that 4 loss category. Northern Ontario, a little wishy-washy again, and unfortunately, I hate to say that and put it that way, but they just weren't quite getting it done and not getting along once again. But, you know, they had a chance to win this game. It went the mile. It went right to the extra end. And you can't ask for anything more than to try and hit a piece of the button for the W in the extra. So unfortunately, it didn't get done. Jacobs was just a hair wide on his last one. He got out in the fresher pebble, and it just slid that little too far. A little bit of oversweeping on that too. The team's not going to be happy with that at all. So hopefully they can rebound tonight against Manitoba. Saskatchewan's
got very interesting draws. They got Northwest Territories, you think would be a win considering the way they've kind of flopped, and some interesting news about Jamie Cooey. And obviously the Brier patch has always been a good time for anybody who's ever been there. But we do want to get back to Saskatchewan. They have a couple games. They have a game against Northwest Territories, as I mentioned.
Right.
And of course, they do have a game against Quebec. Tough teams to face in their final 2 draws coming up. But what can we expect from Saskatchewan if they want to keep going? And of course, they're playing Team Alberta, a team that's on the rise.
Yeah, they're going to have to go all out to pull out all the stops and win those last couple of games just to hold their own. Quebec is going to be really tough. They're just so good with the softer weights, and Saskatchewan is so good with the banging and the heavy peeling game. So Quebec is going to be at their best too. They don't want to slide any further in their standings. They want to stay in that 4th spot like they are right now at 6-2. So it'll be key that they stay at 2 losses, Moses.
We had Ontario taking on Newfoundland Labrador, and it just seems, I don't know how you can improve on a 10-1 record, but Howard seems to do so. He had a fantastic 2012, on par, even better in 2013.
And he was, and the teams played great. Howard and the team, that was probably their best game of the Brier. That was the best game of the Brier to watch so far. Both teams were at their best. Great shots by Gushu. The early ends, and I even saw Madaw start a little slow, and Glenn said to him, you know, you're just a hair narrow on that out turn, just straighten it up and we'll be fine. The changes were made, and Madaw with big shots in 9. Probably one of the best ends I've seen in the Brier was the 9th end of that game.
That says a lot about his team and his character as well. Certainly a team to face along. Scott, a pleasure having you on. Thanks again.
Thanks for having me.
I like your curling charisma, let's call it that, right?
All
right, well, thanks a lot for joining us, Scott. That's all the time we have in our first segment of Sports. Gerard, we'll have your weather details after the break.